Hello my friends, this is FC7 and today I'm going to share a solo spot that was released recently for EverQuest's 20th anniversary. It is a task called The Darkness Howls, and it is in No Memorial Mountain. It involves killing 45 mobs, and what you will be doing is doing a mix of pet tanking, root rotting, maybe some aggro kiting if you want to. I suggest setting aside 2 hours at least that's how long it takes for me. And you'll need your healer merc. I suggest a tier 5 journeyman. I think tier 5 is the highest journeyman merc you can have. I have enhanced minion 23, although I think you can do this with lower. And it offers gear that is currently the best in slot if you're a casual. It's about 6.5k HEM, which is unbelievable. So if you're not doing this and you're a casual, then you're doing it wrong. I assume most Necros know this zone exists, but I don't know if you are aware that it can be soloed. Because it's so easy, I'm pretty sure there are other classes that can solo this, but right now I'm going to focus mainly on Necromancer because that is the main that I play, the main class that I play. So I will show you how to get there if you're unaware. Just go through Dragonscale Hills. This was part of the Secrets of Fadar expansion. So I think the lore behind this, or the story behind this, is that this was a zone originally meant for Secrets of Fadar. And what happened was they never completed it back then, so it's completed now, 10 years later. Because I think SOF was released in 2008, if I'm correct. So what I'm going to do is just run to the spot where you get the quest. So as soon as you zone in from taking the cannon, just run to the right here, run up the hill, go around this area, take a left, right about here, and go down the tunnels. Just take a right, and then come down these metal stairs. For some reason they felt the need to put invisible walls around those stairs, which any long-time listener of my YouTube channel will know I hate invisible walls in this game. They ruin the immersion. So once you get here, you come to this NPC and go through the text dialogue, and the keyword is bravery, and once you say that, well, there's a quest. Say bravery and you'll zone in. So here you are in an instance version of No Memorial Mountain. Now, as soon as you zone in, you'll need to run to the right. The mobs you'll need are the raider types. There's raiders in their title. And I usually use Gift of the Grave due to a small melee shield. Here's the spell lineup that I'll be using. You'll also need the Persistent Paralysis AA as well as Encroaching Darkness if you're going to be root routing. There's a mix of rootable and non-rootable mobs mixed in, so just do your best to pull them and sort them out. Here I edited this down a little bit so you won't have to see me kill 12 mobs, but just to make it clear, the ones that you can snare, you just root rot, and the ones that are unsnareable, you pet tank. So there'll be a mix of them with that first 12. So after that first step is done, you'll need to defeat 8 climbers, and I'll show you where to go. This is a small area right about here, and I usually stand on this ledge overlooking it, wait for them to file in, because they're all going to group right in that small area. And this is probably the hardest part of the quest. Again, there'll be some that you can snare and some that you cannot. So just target each one with Encroaching Darkness and see if they're snareable. In this case, the first one is not. So just Death Piece or Death's Effigy. Get aggro off. So we'll just try another one here. And again, I won't show all 8. I'll just show a couple, or maybe even one. So we'll just target a couple here, target one here, and see if he is snareable, which he is. So they're going to try to come up to the ledge to get you, but they can't, because you'll Death Piece or Death's Effigy off the aggro. Here's the second step. And wait for the others to path back. So as soon as they path back, this one is snareable, so just root rot him with Persistent Paralysis and start your dot rotation. Again, make sure that you're not using any direct damage dots, or you don't have a direct damage AUG on your primary, because that'll break root really fast. So again, just be careful on this ledge. They don't path back through that small entrance there. So you don't have to worry about any of the where it works coming back, or pathing strange. So we'll just dot him up. And there you can see the number of dots I have on him. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, it's a good idea to debuff them. So what I usually do is snare them, come back down, root them, do the debuffs, and then start the dot rotation, which involves getting the tash stick, which I have a video on how to do, and then just using your Scent of Terrace AA. So we'll just finish this guy off. It is kind of time consuming, so like I said, set aside a couple hours if you're doing this solo. And there he's dead, so move on to the next one. Each time you'll do this, there'll be less of them in there. So here I have an example of one that could not be snared. So I'm pet tanking, and that was the 8th one. I didn't go through all 8 of them because that would kind of be redundant. I mean, I'm explaining how to do this. You don't need to see all 8 of them. So maybe what I'll do is just do a couple examples and then switch over to the very last one and move on to the next area, which is what I'm going to do right now. Right now there'll be 10 infiltrators. So this will be like step number 3. So just come through here. On the map I have where the infiltrators will be going into. So I usually set up right here because they'll all go into that small cave-like area. So if you're quick, you can actually see them go in. So now 10 infiltrators. And again, just use a standard encroaching darkness, persistent paralysis. And these guys have a huge aggro range. So you can pretty much just go up to the entrance where they are, and as soon as one sees you, they'll come right after you. So I have this guy snared. I'll root him off with paralysis and start my dot rotation on him. So 10 infiltrators. This one's a little bit challenging. It might take a little bit of time to adjust. But just pull them out to this yard here, and this is where you'll be defeating them. And since I have some time, I will just root off another one, so you can try to dot up 2 at once. Just make sure that you have them snared and debuffed and rooted okay. So just finish these 2 off. There goes one. Here's the other one. In a little bit. Okay, so again, just go to the entrance, and if you see a couple, just pull one. And in this case, there was, I think this is the last one. I wasn't able to root rot him, so stuck to pet tanking. Maybe have some rage swords from a mage if you have a mage alt or a mage friend, guildmate. So this is the next spot you're going to go to, which is the Ravengers. Right on this ledge. Wait for them to file in. And there'll be 10 of them again. And you can actually see them coming from the side of the hill. So 10 Ravengers. And when you get to the last 1 or 2, just pull them. You don't have to wait for them all to file into the room. Sometimes if you want to mix it up a little bit and you don't want to root rot, just pet tank, which is the case for me right here. So like I said before, try to get some rage swords, and if you want to, try to ask your mage friend if you can have some summoned armor. That might help too. Have your pet swarms up. I have one of my spell gem slots for my summon pets, and there's also the AA pet, our summon swarm, Rise of Bones. So you can have a bunch of pets melee in and helping with DPS. So there's the last one of those. And now we're on to the Howlers, which is at the front entrance. So this last step involves defeating 5 Howlers. It's right where you started at the beginning of the quest. Right near the front gate, there'll be a hole in the outside wall, which is located right over here. And I've always found the first mob, the first Howler is always this first guy here. He's a pather, so he will path right in front of you. So this is the last step. It all involves going in this small area. So we'll just see what this guy... Okay, so we'll need to pet tank him since he's not snareable. I also forgot to mention at the start of this video that none of them summon. So we'll just defeat him. And I'm going to show all 5 because it's a little bit tricky in this area. So I won't start with the first one and end with number 5. And just get a new illusion up here. So we'll just search this whole back area for the howlers. And so snare, you might get aggro, but again, just death piece them off, or death's effigy. So he's pathing back, and he's snareable, so just re-snare him. And in this case, instead of dotting him up, I'll just pet tank him. So that was number 2. We'll search to see if there's another one around here. Which there is. So death piece. No, that was death's effigy. Because with effigy you can completely lose aggro. With death piece you have to wait like 3 minutes for it to wear off from other mobs that have aggroed you. So now we'll finish off howler number 3. So invis up and look for howler number 4. He's around here somewhere. And there's one here. If you get a howler in this small area, it's a lot trickier than the other areas. This is also a spot where a named can spawn. But we'll just leave him for now and look for the other howler, howler number 4. Which he aggroed me right there. So we'll go into third person viewpoint, watch him come, snare him, and I'll just root him off. And I'm going to look around to see if there are any other roamers coming through here. So I'm looking, watching my 6. Luckily, no mobs have been pathing through, so I can finish mob number 4 off, the howler. Get rid of him. And then move on to the last one, which was back at the spot that's hard to pull by the temple. So I'm going to have to deal with him in a tough pull. I could clear it out, but I really don't feel like clearing a lot of mobs, so we will just somehow pull him after repositioning. There we go. So there's howler number 5, and now that that's complete, the task is over and you can loot a chest. So this is the easiest stuff ever. I mean, I think they did this on purpose because of EverQuest's 20th anniversary. They're basically giving loot away. And because you play a Necromancer, you can solo this and get all the loot for yourself or your alts. I mean, if you have 2 hours to spare, this is the easiest thing ever. So just come back to the hole that was in the outer wall, and that's where the chest will be. Make sure that you lose aggro, because you won't be able to loot if there is aggro on you. So there you go. And then just loot whatever's in there. And in this case, a lot of this stuff was upgrades for me. Some of it I won't be able to use because it's for other classes, of course. But this charm was pretty much an upgrade. And this was an upgrade too. So, and the good thing is you can redo this quest over and over to get these items with upgraded luck, because luck is maxed out at 5. So just keep doing this until you have 5 luck on each item you can use. So that should just about do it. Any questions or comments, leave them below. Everybody have a great rest of the 20th anniversary.